My father had been a security guard for so long that he no longer remembered when it all began. His life was as empty and routine as a gray shadow in an abandoned warehouse. On that night when I heard him come home, something in our house broke. Or perhaps something appeared. I was engrossed in a game when I heard the jangling of keys in the lock. Dad's home, I thought, dismissing the sound that immediately unsettled me. Dad's home, but there was something strange about the way he arrived, as if something was off. The first sign of trouble came when I called out to him and received no response. I refocused on my screen, but anxiety wouldn't let go. Time dragged until suddenly my phone rang. The caller ID showed Dad's number. I answered and heard his voice on the other end. "I'm going to be late." That voice was distant, alien, like echoes trapped in emptiness. My world shifted instantly. A cold sweat broke out on my back. I realized that someone or something was in our house. Panic surged through me as I looked around. I knew I had to investigate. The sounds of footsteps, strange scraping noises, reminiscent of something inhuman, filled the corridors. I gathered my courage and went toward the sound, but found no one in the hallway. The light I turned on illuminated vague shadows on the walls. I headed for Dad's room. The door was locked. Behind it came a cacophony of laughter, like from the depths of hell, tearing through the silence. Sinister sounds. They penetrated the walls and swallowed the air. Blood froze in my veins. I dashed to the bathroom, which I had always considered a safe haven, locked the door, and listened. The laughter continued, growing more manic and mocking. It was close. I realized that the entity was searching for me, and the more I hid, the more relentless it became. Then came the void. Fear overwhelmed me, and I lost consciousness. Darkness enveloped my mind, pulling me into an endless abyss. When I awoke, it was to the cold floor of the bathroom. It felt as if time had stopped. I saw my father, sitting before me with an expression of deep concern. He stared at me for a long moment, then began asking questions. His voice was anxious, but lacked the fear I had felt. When I told him what had happened, his face changed. He listened, but couldn't speak. We packed our things, and with each step away from the apartment, I felt something dark retreating from me. We left and never returned. Silence fell over our lives. Years passed. I found myself sitting on the dark side of my life, haunted by memories of the terror we left behind. Every time I hear keys jangling in a lock, I fear that something might come again. Every sound, every movement in the dark makes me relive that nightmarish experience. The apartment was left behind, but the shadows that lurked in the dark corners remained with me. I never dared to go back, and every time the laughter from hell echoes in my dreams, I know that it is still searching, but this time it will not find me.